Welcome to another video, to another interview. I'm here with Milo from Fear Factory. They're in Toronto today. They're touring across North America. And the tour, perhaps to start all tours as far as 2024 is concerned. I don't think there's a bigger tour out right now. How's things going with you guys?
It's going great. You know, it's a huge pleasure and honor to be here with Machine Head. You know, such an iconic band, and we're so thankful that they brought us on tour. And it's an awesome package. You know, awesome bands, Gates of Hell, Orbiculture, great bands, great people. Everybody's cool, and you know, it's a great vibe and awesome shows. You know, a lot of sold out shows, and crowd is awesome supporting this new version of Fear Factory, and we're all happy. So,
any show so far stands out in your mind as far as craziness or interaction with the audience? Has there been one so far on this road trip of yours that's a little bit more memorable?
The Calgary one for sure was memorable. It was nearly 3,000 people and all rowdy and very energetic. It was a beautiful, huge venue. That was one of the highest peaks of the tour so far. But yeah, I would say pretty much all shows were awesome crowd and awesome response from the crowd. So,
being in Canada, you said Calgary, so that's a great move. Like you picked a Canadian city, like that's the way you appease your local fan base. So nice move on your end. But they also have the Stampede there, so you would expect them to know how to go crazy and get all wild. So I'm not totally shocked with that. This tour for you, do you prepare differently for a North American tour than you do for a European tour?
I wouldn't say that we prepare differently. It's more like it depends whether it's opening tour, like we open, like we're doing right now for Machine Head, or it's a headlining tour. Like last tour we were headlining in Europe, so of course it's a longer set, and the criteria and the way you pick up songs for making the set list is different, of course, because when you have a headlining set, you have up to 17 songs. I think we played 17 songs last run, and so you can sneak inside the set list some of the deep cuts like Freedom of Fire, some of our fans' favorite. But in a set like this, which is 9 songs, because we have 40 minutes, it's all a little bit more about the classics. So people want to hear Shock, Edge Crusher, Demanufacture, Replica, and so yeah, that's I would say that's the only difference. Opening and headlining. So.
Do you have any? You mentioned fan favorites. Do you have any favorites yourself? Is there a song or two that it means maybe a little bit more to you and it's a little bit extra special?
There are a lot of Fear Factory songs that are special for me. It's not just one. It's difficult to pick up just one, but I would say Resurrection for sure. It holds a special meaning for me because it's such a hopeful song for me. I have the final quote. The final part of the lyrics tattooed on my arm, reach for the sky part. And I think that's really an emotional moment, and it shows, and you can feel it on your own skin when you sing it live, and when people hear it live. It's like such a beautiful moment when you kind of connect in almost like a spiritual way with people. It's really beautiful. So yeah, that's pretty much one of my, not just favorite, but the Fear Factory songs that I most connected with. Same thing with Timelessness and Dielectrics. The chorus of that song is really like a lot emotional for me. Like it's a huge. I think Fear Factory melodic parts hold a huge hopeful power. Like gives you, at least this is what I feel in my own skin, like gives you a lot of hope. And power to make it, whatever it means. So,
it's been a wild ride for you. You know what I mean? You joined the band. You guys did that headlining tour in Europe. Now you're in North America doing this massive tour with Machine Head. Have you taken any time to kind of look back and just assess everything that has happened since you've joined the band?
Well, not so much time, but because after the 2 months run, which was 15 shows in America with Lacuna Coil, in US, then right away, a month and a half, if not more, in Europe.
Yeah, nearly 2 months, I think, in Europe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than 2 months touring total. we had just literally 20 days to get back in our homes, and so I got back in Rome in my house with to cherish Christmas with parents and family, and then literally 20 days later, we just flew back to LA. 1 week of rehearsal every day, tight schedule, and then boom, we were out on the road with Machine Head. So neither really had so much time to like assess, and acknowledge all that happened. But I mean, yeah, sometimes every now and then I stop and I'm like, dude, this is just crazy. It is that crazy and surreal for sure. So that it's so surreal that sometimes you don't even realize how big of a change it is for your life. It's just like too surreal. But yeah,
You have to pinch yourself every so often.
absolutely. It's considering Fear Factory was like literally my number one favorite band. It's that surreal.
So being a fan of the band and looking at the legacy that the band has, did that weigh on you? Did that put extra pressure on you coming in? And not just having to look forward as being the new face of the band as we moved forward and we move ahead, but also being able to represent what the band has done in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, the pressure was there mostly at first. I mean, I'm settling in right now pretty much, but at first there was pressure because it was a gamble. Even Dino was like, we're talking about what the possible account could have been, and we were like, it's a gamble. Let's see if the fans like it, if they're gonna like this new guy, unknown guy from Italy, if it's gonna be like fuck the Italian spaghetti eater, or because and of course the language thing, because I at that point, even before getting the Fear Factory gig, I kind of knew English and American English because of my parents playing constantly like American music since I was a child. So I was always in love with the sound of this language, this American accent. And I tried to replicate and study it myself. But when I got the gig, I had to even to make sure that I sounded as native as possible, because when you front an LA American band, you want to make sure that you don't sound like this, So, which I don't think I did, but you.
But
you
it was
also,
in the back of your mind for sure.
yeah, either when you sing during your benters, when you talk on stage, or just when you do interviews. You wanna make sure that there is no, just at least the last accent as possible. Yeah, that was another element of pressure for sure. And so yeah, I would say I'm still working on it. I think we work on stuff for our own life, like whether it's like playing and practice on your instrument, your vocals, or your English. So I'm constantly practicing on my English. But yeah, that was a factor of pressure. But as soon as we played the first shows with the first tour that I did with Fear Factory, which was Static X tour last year in February, we saw the awesome reaction of fans, and I was blown away, because I was kind of like, it was 50-50 in our heads, like, how's it gonna be, but it turned out good. I'm so thankful for all the fans that accepted me, because I understand it's not easy. And I get it when people are like, I miss Bert, I miss the old singer, because it's such an iconic singer. It's like replacing, like, let's say James Hetfield in Metallica. I mean, it's that iconic. It's not easy. So that's why I'm even more thankful for people. The majority of people that are accepting me and this family, and in this new era of Fear Factory. So yeah, I would say pretty much settling in right now.
You had a lot of things in your mind during that period of time. Did you stay away from social media? Because I remember that time period, and I saw Dino online, like swatting at flies left and forth. It looked like he was pretty busy dealing with a lot of unrest, for lack of a better term. I honestly don't even know what word to use to describe that period of time. But you were in the back, and you were kind of in the shadows until your name came out. Were you staying away from that pressure because you had other things to worry about?
I wouldn't say I have been away from social media, because I mean, quite the opposite. I was in the shadow, checking stuff out in the shadow, like out of curiosity. Like a lot of people were speculating about my name already because fans are pretty much like CIA. They
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to find out stuff, and since I posted those covers, Fear Factory covers on YouTube that Dino asked me to do for the audition, and he asked me then to put it on YouTube, and people apparently like it, and some people liked it so much that they kind of they were guessing that I could have been the new guy, and so yeah, I was kind of checking out stuff in the shadow. We couldn't say anything because Dino's like, "Yo, keep your mouth shut and tell everybody to keep their mouth shut." Like because few people, my family and friends, knew it because I
It's
couldn't
hard
hold
to
it.
keep a secret.
Yeah, but at the same time, there were people that I trusted. So fortunately, nobody leaked it. It was the guys from my bands, my family, which is my parents and my brother, and that's it. So and they're just my closest family. So they did a good job to keep their mouths shut, and so yeah, it was all about keeping your mouth shut and wait until the time is right. So I was quivering, of course. I was like craving for the new to come out, and but yeah, I was just checking social media anyway because I was so hyped and curious about that there's one more guy that's talking about me, whether it's good or bad. Because a lot of people I hope it's not this Italian guy. It's just it's not good. It's bullshit. His accent is crap. Whatever. So you name it. But
There's always
yeah.
going to be haters out there.
Yeah, I mean, and especially there was this app called, I didn't know about it, but Dino told me that a bunch of guys were talking about me already back then on this app called Reddit,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
not as popular in Italy as it is in the US. I found out. And but I make like a blank account just to check stuff out, and there were on Reddit there were a lot of people really CIA on Reddit, oh yeah, I saw a picture with Milo. He was in LA in that time, and yeah, so it just can't keep a secret, to that much, but still, yeah.
When it comes to your voice and the band and the demands from your vocal range when it comes to the songs and the discography of the band, is there a part of your range that you feel fits incredibly well with Fear Factory? And is there a part of your range that you feel like perhaps you have to continue to work on and improve in order to get it to not necessarily where people expect it to be, but where you wanted it to be?
Well, if we're talking, if you say range, meaning like actual pitch range, that's kind of like I would say pretty much similar to Bert's range because we're both baritones. So and that I think it's a thing you want to keep because the you want to stay in that range, and let's say if a tenor maybe can hit those high notes better, but you can't really hit. Maybe he can hit lower notes like in self-bias resistor. Oh, but still not with the same timbre,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same tone. So you want to really make sure that someone has the same vocal extension that way. And if we talk range, meaning nailing the tone, the vocal tones, like scream, that's also important because, of course, like said, Burton Siebel is such an iconic singer and had such a unique screaming tone and clean vocals
Vocal
tone.
tone, yeah.
Like you can recognize him instantly. That's him, And I think that was his one of the most beautiful things about his singing. And I was a lot inspired by him already, but not just by him, of course. I had a lot of singers that inspire me. But when I got the gig, we wanted to make sure, and Dino asked me to study his style even more. Like, you got it down, but study it more. He was sending me a cappellas, he found a resurrection of cappellas, and he sent it to me, and I'm like, good, what I'm supposed to do with it? And it's like, study his style, fucking listen, study his style. So I did a kind of work on it, to not to imitate, but to study the style. Means that not just the way he sings, but the way he shaped vowels. Like he had one of the cool things about him is that he shaped vowels in a cool thing. He used his tongue to create more of a lower kind of timbre, and or when he goes like the word revive, he would say revive. So all those way to morph and shape vowels he would create. It's one of those shades that create bird seabell sound. So I went, and I kind of had it already, but I went back and studied it even more. Which again, it's not like imitating. It's like if you want to, like, let's say play like a iconic guitar player, James Hetfield. It just always comes to my mind. But you gotta nail the style, the way he plays, the way the feel when he plays. Same thing with vocals. So, and that's the vocal work that I have done, either with clean vocals or screaming vocals. Same thing with screaming. I would say with the harsh vocals, I was more like I was inspired by a lot of singers like Johnny Santos from Spine Shank, Des from Cold Chamber, Wayne Static from Static X. So I had a little bit more of that vibe, that kind of vibe. And with Fear Factory, I had to kind of study more of that pitchy, shouty kind of scream when you hear the pitch, but at the same time it's still grunty as hell, So, and I'm still kind of working on that, but I think that makes a difference, because I've seen a lot of people doing awesome covers of Fear Factory, but maybe like the screaming tone was more like, let's say, typical death metal or like modern death metal, deathcore, when you go like, which is cool, it's great, but it's not the style.
Yeah.
It's like you play a blues solo with like a metal kind of playing, let's say, or a jazzy. I mean, it's just a matter of style. So, and Bert had a very unique screaming style. I think you have to nail it, both scream and clean vocals, if you want to pay homage to the legacy. So that's a work that I did on vocals. But I would say I already had it, which is the reason why I caught Dino's attention. But yeah, I did. We were all into this. Like, we all wanted to sound as Fear Factory as possible, because we wanted to sound as Fear Factory as possible. So.
Because you guys are a Fear Factory.
Well, apparently.
Are you? How are you guys gonna? You guys have been super busy on the road playing shows.
Right.
Are you guys thinking already a little bit ahead in next studio record and how that's gonna look like?
Absolutely. That was. That we talked about it since the first days of the audition. Like, I'm so happy that Dino liked my stuff on my other bands, and especially the band Dead Channel, where I sing and I compose all the music, record an instrument, blah blah. He liked it. He liked the way I songwrite. I write songs. So and some of it is really like Fear Factory inspired. So. He told me we could collaborate for future music, which I was really happy about, because he's always been the main songwriter for the band, and he's iconic. He's an idol of mine, so he knows his shit. So when he told me that I could collaborate musically and not just lyrics wise, I was humbled for that. And so yeah, of course we talked about it. We constantly talk about it. He played me a couple of riffs for ideas. We just laid down a couple of program drums, but it's all scratch ideas at this point. I know Dino has like 8 scratch songs, like guitars and drums. He played me those songs, but it's all like, we still have to get in the studio and actually do it. The problem is we keep receiving tour offers. And we don't feel like letting them down, because, especially Dino, Dino's really skilled in this business, has been in this business for 30 plus years. And he knows that right now it's important to get the band back on the road and rebuild the credibility of the band, which unfortunately for some reason was doing not fine lately, and one of them being that they were literally frozen for 6-ish years for the legal suit. So it's good right now to rebuild especially the live credibility. So yeah, we're working for that, and we, hopefully something is coming out. We were talking about releasing a single this year, but it's not an official new yet. It's just an idea. We would like to release at least a single this year, probably the new album the next year. But it's just an idea at this point.
At least it's something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
The last 2 questions I have for you have nothing to do with Fear Factory, but it has to do with you. So you're from Rome.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, how do you feel about Roma letting Mourinho go?
About what?
Jose Mourinho. Are you a soccer fan, footy fan?
Unfortunately, I'm a weird Italian, man.
Are you kidding me? You're going to have your passport revoked right now.
Right?
Well, it depends on the answer to the next question. Pineapple on the pizza? Yes or no?
Fuck no.
All right. Okay, you can keep your passport.
Dude, you don't even know the fights, of course, in a funny way, we had with the guys about pineapple on pizza, chicken on pasta pizza. Like
chicken on pasta, yeah. That I never thought that would be an issue. Is that an issue?
It's a big issue. Like
wow, I know the pineapple one. I get that one all the time. I'm Portuguese, so
okay.
I can relate somewhat to the struggles that you go through with the pineapple on the pizza. But the chicken on the pasta, I had never heard that one before.
It's a huge misconception. Like you don't never put
just some
chicken on
Parmesan.
pasta.
That's all it needs.
Yeah, I mean it depends. If it's cheese, if it's fish pasta, no Parmesan.
Fish pasta? I don't think I've ever. Like you mean like seafood, like shrimp and stuff like that?
Yeah. Seafood.
Okay.
Sorry, seafood pasta, fish pasta, whatever. No Parmesan on cheese on fish or seafood. Like that's maybe pecorino, maybe.
Wow, I'm learning a lot today. I'm honestly,
but no chicken on pasta, no chicken on pizza.
You're making me question a lot of things that I've experienced in my life living in North America, as far as going to an Italian restaurant and ordering pasta with shrimp and it's drenched in cheese. So now I know better. See, living and learning, I would say.
Right? Yeah,
but definitely no pineapple on your pizza.
Definitely
under no circumstances.
Absolutely no. I mean, the first time that I heard that, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I mean, why would you put fruit on a pizza? I mean.
Well, they put anchovies. They put like sardines on the.
Yeah. I mean that I can see that. I mean, it's
you're cool
Neapolitan. Anchovies is a Neapolitan recipe. It's called marinara.
Yeah.
But marinara in America is a different thing. In Italy,
something else. Yeah, in Europe, marinara means something else than compared to here.
Yeah, it's a pizza with just tomato sauce and anchovies on it. That's pretty much it. But yeah, Italian food is really simple, man. It's like just few ingredients, but the good ones, and good quality. One of the first cultural shocks in America was that they tend to just put stuff together, and I mean, if you like it,
I mean, Americans are known for their cuisine. Let's face the facts. I mean, when people think of America, they think of McDonald's. So it's not like we're really, North Americans in general are not really known for their culinary exports.
Yeah, I mean, we have like in Italy, they sell a lot of Angus, which is a bovine. Race they have in America, which is really renowned. So they have this a huge meat culture. I love the brisket. I love the Carolina style brisket. Texas grilled meat. I love a lot of American food. The problem is that when they try to imitate other cultures' food, like same thing. Last time me and Javier, our touring bass player, we were eating at a bar. And it was so funny because he's Mexican and I'm Italian. So he had some fake Italian dish and I had quesadillas, which were fake quesadillas, which are Mexican. So we ended up
exchanging
judging each other's food. It's like, man, you have fucking spaghetti, like tomato sauce spaghetti with chicken parmesan on top of it. Oh shit, let me try it. Shit. Then I had my quesadillas. It was like Minneapolis probably. And I was like, oh, let me taste the quesadilla. Yeah, this quesadilla is shit. This is not queso. It was really funny. We were judging each other foods.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm slightly disappointed that you're not a Roma fan. So we could talk about Jose Mourinho. You must be like the only Italian from Rome that's not a Roma fan,
Pretty much.
or at least a Lazio fan at the very least. I mean, it's either one or the other.
Okay, so the Roma Lazio thing in Rome it's a serious deal. Like we fucking they take it seriously.
Yeah, it's to the death. It's like old gladiator style.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much like Manchester fans and hooligans. It's just really serious. But I'm probably gonna piss off a lot of AS Roma fans, but I don't root for any team, but my dad is a Lazio fan.
All right.
So and when I was a kid, of course, I was rooting for Lazio.
You always want to be influenced by your dad.
Yeah, but when I grew up, just grew. I just lost interest for it for some reason. I don't know, because it's so big in Italy that's almost like for some people, it's just their reason.
It's like a religion.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. More than that, it's just people on the television fucking, come on. I mean, you probably know it because here in Canada, like hockey is big, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm not a hockey fan. So the same way you're not a football fan, I'm not a hockey fan. But I'm an import. I came here when I was already older, so I can't see the puck.
Right.
It's just a small little thing on the ice. I can't see it, so I'm more of a football fan.
But in Portugal, soccer is kind of big.
Yeah. That's why, like Cristiano Ronaldo, all of that stuff.
Right.
Like, that's what I grew up with. So
I would say soccer is one of those things, peculiar things in Italy. We had, and I think we still have, amazing soccer players. Like Totti, which was captain
used to play for Roma. He was the captain, yeah.
One of the greatest soccer player ever. So yeah, we have a lot of great soccer players. So and we won a lot of World Cups, not anymore, but
yeah. Well, you guys have more than Portugal. We don't have any. So like you're doing far better than what we are. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me about the band, about the touring, about food. Next time we see each other, we'll talk a little bit more about food. Maybe we'll do this over a dish, a pasta dish, and you can critique to your heart's desire the pasta dish. I think that would be a great video to do.
Oh yeah, I'm always down to talk about food. I'm Italian, so
I'm always down to eat some food more than talk about it. Like,
same.
So if we can bring those two worlds together, then it's perfect. It's perfect for me.
I would add that I've been in Lisbon, which is a beautiful city. And the food in Portugal is amazing, especially what's called the
custards.
Those
pastéis de nata.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that was really good.
That's like our big thing.
Yeah, but it's amazing. That alone it makes you like a great country.
I just had like 5 yesterday. I'm not even lying.
Wow.
We buy them all the time and they don't last very long in the house. You put some cinnamon on top. If you ever have a chance, put some cinnamon on top and warm it up. It's even better.
Cool.
So
man.
Next time I'm in Portugal, try it.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All the best with the tour.
Thank you, man.
We'll see each other soon again.
Absolutely, always. Anytime.
Take care, guys.